Listen carefully. There are moments in the flow of time when the ordinary rhythm of life shifts. October 10th is one of those moments, a date aligned with the pulse of the universe, opening what many call the 10/10 portal. To most, it passes like any other day, but to the mindful, it signals rebirth, a chance to step out of old cycles and meet the next version of yourself. In the teachings of the Shaolin Temple, such alignments are not coincidences. They are reflections of inner order meeting cosmic order, heaven and earth breathing together. This moment carries a rare frequency of symmetry, the 10th day of the 10th month. In ancient numerology, 10 represents completion and renewal. One cycle ends, another begins. It is not superstition, it is pattern, rhythm, harmony. Through this portal, old energies rise to be cleared. Habits, fears, and attachments that no longer serve the path. And at the same time, new energy begins to root itself quietly within you. The Shaolin Way teaches us to meet such transitions not with resistance but with awareness, the still, alert mind that sees change not as loss but as transformation. In this video, you will discover 8 subtle yet powerful ways this 10/10 synchronicity influences your body, your emotions, and your destiny. These insights are drawn from ancient Shaolin philosophy, mindfulness, and the deeper science of self-mastery. Each one is a mirror, revealing what is awakening within you right now. Stay with me until the end, because by the final moment, you will understand how to move through this portal with strength, peace, and purpose. I am Shiheng Yai, and this is Shaolin Soulfire. Welcome, and if you seek the discipline of awakening, subscribe and walk this path with us. There are moments when the world seems to whisper. You look at the clock and see the same numbers again and again. A stranger says a word that answers the question you've been carrying. A song plays at the exact moment your thoughts drift toward a forgotten memory. These are not accidents. They are echoes of alignment. Signs that the boundary between your inner world and the outer world is thinning. On October 10th, this veil grows delicate, like morning mist before the sun. The energy of symmetry, 10 and 10, invites resonance. What is within begins to speak through what is without. To the distracted mind, it looks like coincidence, but to the trained awareness, it is communication. In the Shaolin Way, we learn that nothing is random. During long hours of meditation, a monk is taught to listen, not with the ears, but with the body. A subtle shift in breath, a slight tension in the fingertips, a tremor in the abdomen, each carries information. The body becomes an instrument of perception, tuned to the frequencies of the unseen. When you cultivate this kind of attention, synchronicities no longer surprise you. They guide you, the book that falls from a shelf, the message that repeats in different forms, the unexpected encounter, all are mirrors showing you what your consciousness is projecting. But here lies the challenge. The modern mind rushes past the sacred. It sees but does not notice. It receives but does not interpret. On this 10/10 portal, you are invited to slow down. When patterns repeat, don't dismiss them. Pause, breathe, ask, what is life showing me? Then write it down. In time, the meaning unfolds, not from the world outside, but from the still place within you. When deep transformation approaches, it rarely arrives in the form we expect. The 10/10 portal opens not only light, but also shadow. Old patterns rise like silt from the bottom of a still pond, clouding the surface so that what lies beneath can be seen. This is not punishment, it is purification. The universe does not expose your wounds to shame you. It reveals them so they can finally breathe. In Shaolin practice, a student's greatest battle is never with an opponent, but with the mind that resists discomfort. During winter training, when the body trembles and the breath burns, the master reminds the disciple, endure beyond comfort. There, your true strength begins. The same is true for inner work. To master oneself is to stand calmly in the presence of one's own fears. As this energetic gateway unfolds, you may notice emotions rising unexpectedly. Anger, sadness, guilt, confusion. Old stories may replay. Relationships may stir memories you thought were gone. This is the shadow seeking light. The instinct is to push it away, to distract yourself, to move faster. But the path of mastery is different. You slow down and witness. You allow the storm to speak. Every belief that limits you must first be seen before it can be released. Awareness is the sword that cuts through illusion. Compassion is the hand that steadies it. Together, they dissolve what no longer belongs to your journey. So when the discomfort appears, breathe as a monk breathes, deep, deliberate, without judgment. Let the old fall away as leaves do in autumn. This is not collapse, it is clearing. What feels like loss is often the exact moment you are being reborn into greater clarity, strength, and peace. Every transformation carries a pause, a quiet space between who you were and who you are becoming. The 1010's portal opens such a space. It is an invisible threshold where intention is reborn. What once motivated you may no longer resonate. What once guided you may now feel heavy or incomplete. This is not failure. It is evolution. The spirit refines itself by releasing what no longer serves its highest purpose. In the Shaolin path, students learn that alignment begins with the smallest movements. When sweeping the floor, when bowing before training, when folding the robe, each act is done with full awareness. The master says, if you cannot handle small tasks, you cannot handle the great. It is in these simple moments that the discipline of intention is forged. To realign is not to plan harder, it is to bring presence into every choice. Mindfulness teaches that life constantly speaks through sensation and feeling. What feels alive draws you closer to truth. What feels dull or forced belongs to the past. When you notice resistance in your daily actions, do not judge it. Observe it. Ask gently, does this still serve my path? This single question can dissolve months of confusion. Rebirth of intention does not happen in grand gestures, but in subtle shifts, the way you speak to yourself, the food you choose, the thoughts you feed. Each small correction strengthens the inner compass. Over time, clarity arises naturally, like mist lifting from a mountain valley. This is the essence of realignment, not chasing purpose, but allowing it to surface through conscious living. When every breath becomes deliberate, the path ahead reveals itself, step by step, until your life once again moves in harmony with your deepest truth. There comes a point on every seeker's path when the need for outer validation begins to fade. What once required permission now feels guided from within. The 1010's portal intensifies this shift. It calls you back to your own center where true authority resides. This is not dominance, not rebellion. It is quiet sovereignty, born from knowing who you are beneath every influence and opinion. In the Shaolin tradition, the foundation of mastery is not power over others, but mastery over the self. The ancient code of Wu teaches 5 virtues: humility, integrity, compassion, trust, and self-restraint. Together, they form the spine of inner authority. Without them, strength becomes arrogance. With them, strength becomes wisdom. The disciplined warrior does not react to noise, he responds to truth. As the energies of this alignment deepen, you may feel an urge to withdraw from external chatter, to think less about what the world expects and more about what your spirit commands. This is not isolation, it is purification. In silence, you rediscover the voice that was drowned beneath comparison and doubt. That voice speaks simply, "This is right for me." Mind mastery begins when you no longer chase approval. Each breath becomes a declaration of independence from distraction. You notice how the body relaxes when choice aligns with truth, how the heart steadies when your actions match your inner values. That is the feeling of alignment, quiet, unwavering, whole. To lead yourself is to walk through uncertainty with a steady gaze. It is to move, not because others agree, but because your soul recognizes the step as true. This is the authority of one who has faced their own mind and found peace within it, the rare power that needs no witness. When great energies move through the world, the sensitive can feel them first in the body, a subtle trembling beneath the skin, a shift in temperature, a wave of emotion without clear cause. These are signs of awakening energy, the ancient force known as Qi. During the 10/10th alignment, this current intensifies. It flows through the meridians like spring water breaking through old stones, clearing channels that have long been blocked. In Shaolin tradition, the cultivation of qi is both art and discipline. Through qigong and neigong, practitioners learn to listen inwardly, to feel the breath not only as air, but as life itself moving within. Each movement is slow, deliberate, guided by awareness rather than effort. Over time, the body becomes a vessel that can sense the subtlest vibrations of nature, the pull of the moon, the rhythm of rain, the quiet pulse of another's heart. As this sensitivity awakens, you may feel energy rise spontaneously, a warmth in the spine, tingling in the palms, waves of peace or restlessness. Do not fear it. The untrained mind wants to grasp or analyze, but qi is not meant to be controlled. It seeks harmony, not dominance. Your role is to witness, breathe, and allow balance to restore itself. Grounding becomes essential. Walk slowly. Feel the earth beneath your feet. Let each exhale sink energy downward, anchoring spirit into form. When you meet stillness through breath, qi gathers and stabilizes. When you move with intention, it circulates freely. The awakening of qi is not a miracle. It is remembrance, the return to a natural sensitivity that has always been within you. With patience and practice, it becomes not an intensity to manage, but a quiet power to live from. All of existence moves in rhythm, expansion and contraction, day and night, inhaling and exhaling. The ancients called this dance yin and yang. It is not a battle of opposites, but a dialogue that sustains creation itself. During the 10-10th portal, this balance becomes more vivid. You may feel pulled between motion and stillness, between the urge to act and the need to rest. The energy of duality intensifies so that you can learn how to walk its middle path. In Shaolin and Taoist philosophy, harmony is not found by choosing one side, but by honoring both. The masters train fiercely by day, then sit in deep meditation by night. Each movement of strength is followed by a return to stillness so that the inner and outer realms remain in balance. Too much action scatters energy, too much stillness dulls the flame. True power arises when both are given their rightful space. During this period, life may mirror these polarities. One moment may call for decisive steps. Another may demand surrender. The art of self-mastery lies in sensing which is needed. Listen closely. Your body and emotions will reveal the imbalance. Fatigue whispers that you are pushing too hard. Restlessness shows that energy has stagnated. Both are teachers. When you begin to see yin and yang not as enemies but as partners, you move gracefully through all change. You can push with intention, then yield with trust. You can pursue your goals without losing your peace. This is the sacred rhythm of balance, action guided by awareness, stillness infused with purpose. To live this way is to flow with life itself, neither resisting nor clinging, but responding in harmony with the ever-shifting breath of the universe. There is a kind of hearing that does not depend on sound. It arises when the mind grows quiet enough to notice what lies beneath the constant hum of thought. During the 10-10th portal, as external energies stir and many seek stimulation, the call of the awakened one is towards silence. Not the silence of absence, but the silence of presence, alive, attentive, vast. In Shaolin discipline, silence is a practice as important as movement. Between each strike, each breath, there's a pause. That pause is where awareness lives. The master teaches that if you listen closely enough, silence begins to speak. It reveals the rhythm of your heartbeat, the whisper of intuition, the voice of wisdom that never shouts but always knows. As this energy amplifies, you may feel drawn away from noise, to withdraw from endless scrolling, arguments, or unnecessary talk. The mind hungers for stillness, the soul for simplicity. Honor this instinct. It is not isolation but restoration. The world becomes clearer when you no longer add your own noise to it. Mindfulness reminds us that insight does not come from forcing clarity, but from allowing it to surface naturally. When the pond of the mind is still, even the smallest reflection becomes visible. In that state, guidance arises effortlessly. The subtle nudge, the calm certainty, the quiet yes or no that directs your next step. To cultivate inner silence is to return to your original nature, steady, aware, and deeply receptive. It is here that real understanding dawns, that wisdom was never distant, only hidden beneath layers of distraction. When you rest in this stillness, you no longer need to search for truth. You become the space where truth is heard. Awakening is not meant to remain in thought. Ideas alone are shadows. True insight asks to be lived. The 10-tenths portal stirs this principle deeply, urging the soul to descend into the body. It is not enough to understand change. The body must carry it, breathe it, act it. This is the bridge between knowing and being. In Shaolin tradition, mastery is never separated from the physical form. Each movement, each stance, each strike of the practitioner is infused with presence. The body is not a tool but a temple, a vessel through which discipline and spirit meet. Only when the mind, breath, and movement align does awakening take root fully. The monk who trains in silence does so not for spectacle, but so that the energy of practice permeates every cell, every action, every intention. As the energies of this alignment flow through, you may feel a subtle insistence to ground yourself. Perhaps it appears as a desire to move, to walk, stretch, or attend to simple tasks with intention. Perhaps it is a need to slow down and inhabit stillness fully. Both are ways the portal asks the soul to integrate with form, to return to the tangible while carrying the subtle. Self-mastery is realized when knowledge becomes habit and insight becomes action. A thought is elevated only when it manifests in how you speak, in how you respond, in the choices you make each day. The body remembers what the mind may forget through it. Spirit learns patience, resilience, and truth. In this way, awakening is complete. The soul, no longer abstract, flows through the body with purpose. Every step, every breath, every movement becomes a reflection of inner alignment. To embody is to honor the portal, to not merely witness transformation, but to live it fully in each moment. Every step toward inner alignment subtly reshapes the world around you. As the 10-tenths portal opens, your energy shifts, and with it, the currents of connection. Some relationships, once familiar and steady, may feel strained or distant. Others, previously unnoticed, may deepen, carrying unexpected resonance. This is not coincidence, it is the natural law of vibration. In Shaolin philosophy, relationships are governed by the virtues of respect, compassion, and loyalty. True bonds are not measured by convenience or expectation, but by the integrity of mutual presence. As your inner frequency rises, the universe mirrors it outward. Those who share your resonance naturally align. Those who do not are gently asked to step aside. This process can feel unsettling. A friend may drift. A partnership may challenge you. A familiar path may no longer feel right. Yet each shift carries clarity. The energy you emit tests the fidelity of every connection. It is not judgment. It is discernment. You learn which ties nourish your growth and which bind you to patterns that no longer serve. Mindfulness guides this realignment. Observe interactions without forcing outcomes. Listen to your body's responses, to the quiet sense of ease or tension. Honor the discomfort without clinging. Each choice, each acknowledgement becomes an exercise in conscious presence, teaching you how to engage with life from integrity rather than habit. Through this process, relationships become mirrors of mastery. They reveal your values, your clarity, and your capacity for compassion. The connections that endure are strengthened, purified, and elevated. The ones that fall away are not loss, but release, clearing space for new resonance. In learning to move gracefully through these shifts, you begin to inhabit a world that reflects the inner discipline, harmony, and truth you cultivate within yourself. Life is never static. Even when the familiar feels safe, the pulse of existence quietly calls for expansion. The 10-tenths portal opens like a hidden door, inviting the seeker into uncharted realms of creativity and potential. It stirs latent capacities, ideas, insights, and inspirations that have waited patiently beneath the surface, now ready to emerge. In Shaolin philosophy, the path of mastery is not repetition alone. Strength and skill grow through adaptation, through meeting the unknown with focus and courage. The warrior refines not just technique, but awareness, opening to new possibilities with each season of training. Similarly, when inner gates awaken, the mind and spirit are challenged to evolve, to stretch beyond habitual patterns. This awakening may appear subtly at first, a fleeting thought that carries weight, a sudden vision during meditation, a compelling urge to begin a practice or project that feels both unfamiliar and urgent. These are invitations, gentle yet insistent, signaling that your inner landscape is ready to expand. Discernment and discipline guide this process. Not every impulse is meant for pursuit, but the cultivated mind recognizes which stirrings are aligned with true purpose. As Shaolin masters teach, intention without action is empty, yet action without awareness can scatter energy. The art lies in listening deeply, then moving decisively, letting insight inform action. When embraced consciously, these emerging potentials become the seeds of transformation. Creative work, service, study, or personal practice begins to flow naturally, fueled by a clarity and strength rooted in inner alignment. Each step into new territory is both an expression of mastery and a reflection of growth, a living demonstration that awakening is not a static state, but an evolving journey, constantly unfolding through the gates that life opens before you. The 1010's portal is more than a date on the calendar. It is a doorway of energetic rebirth. It asks for more than observation. It calls for presence, courage, and alignment. Through the teachings of Shaolin, we learn that discipline, balance, and embodiment are the tools that make spiritual openings tangible. Mindfulness allows us to feel the subtle shifts within, not just understand them with the mind. As this portal unfolds, it offers a chance to release what no longer serves, to realign with purpose, and to move forward with integrity. Each small choice, each mindful breath, each deliberate action becomes a step along this path of transformation. Life asks not for perfection, but for awareness, the willingness to meet change with calm, clarity, and strength. Take these lessons into your daily life. Notice the signs, honor the rhythms, and cultivate presence in every moment. Let your intentions flow from a place of inner authority and allow your body, mind, and spirit to move together in harmony. May this portal guide you toward greater clarity, deeper alignment, and the courage to embody your highest self. Thank you for sharing this space of reflection and insight. If you feel called to continue this journey, like this video and subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire, where discipline meets awakening and the path of mastery is explored together.